It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
DJ PK, and we're joined now by Stephen Johnson, TCU beat writer for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Stephen, good morning.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Good. Hey, before we dive into some specific players here, you're talking to two guys who've been doing this show for almost 25 years. So we were around when Gary Patterson was going to the Fiesta Bowl and winning the Rose Bowl, and TCU, BYU, and Utah had a really good thing going in the Mountain West. They were great. And Sonny Dykes comes in and takes them to the college football championship game his first year. Now, you lose a lot of players. You got to rebuild. We get that. Couple of 9-4 seasons back-to-back here. What is the missing piece that might jump TCU into the conversation with Texas Tech, with Utah and BYU in the elite in the conference? Big picture, they're good. What are they missing that they're not great?
Well, they hope that new offensive coordinator Gordon Samuels ends up being kind of the missing piece. I think Sonny realized Sonny's been an air raid guy most of his career and has had a lot of success with it. But I think if you notice BYU, Utah, Texas Tech, even teams like Iowa State and Kansas State, I feel like those teams, the Big 12 is moving from that air raid, throw it all over the yard 50, 60 times a game to those five teams I mentioned are very physical teams on both sides of the ball. Yeah, they still run spread, but a lot of those teams weren't afraid to get under center. I still remember going to that BYU game last year, just how much more physical BYU was than TCU. So they hope this new offense philosophy, which is a little bit more pro-style, a little bit more multiple, will allow them to play a bit more physical. Their run game has struggled the last 2 years, so they got a new OC. Even though they lost Josh Hoover, they think they have a more athletic quarterback in Jaden Craig that can also maybe unlock certain dimensions of the offense. So they're hoping this new offensive scheme and also being in year 3 under Andy Avalos could kind of be what they need to take that next leap into the elite of the Big 12.
Yeah, you speak of Josh Hoover, and he was a mainstay there. And on the way out, it seemed like from a distance, and get your thought on this, that Sonny took some shots at him talking about the turnovers. And I believe he had 42 total turnovers, 79 touchdown passes, 42 turnovers. And that ASU game was in a particular abomination. It seemed like they had that game won, but he kept turning it over. So with that in mind, you spoke of the new quarterback coming in. Is it the case of sour grapes, or is Sonny glad that Hoover's gone?
I think two things could be true, maybe three things. They certainly wanted to keep him. I know financially they were competitive with Indiana and some of the other teams that wanted him. I think ultimately Josh left because, Kendall Briles left. A lot of his good friends, Eric McAllister, Colton Deary, some other guys also ended up leaving. And he had been here, I think, 4 years. So he had kind of seen everything Fort Worth had to offer. But I do think it was a shot, but I also think Sonny was telling the truth as well. I think turnovers were one of the biggest things. I forget what the stat says, but since Sonny's taken over, if they just win or they're even in the turnover battle, I think they have some crazy record like 26-4, 27-4, something like that. So typically speaking, when TCU doesn't turn the ball over or when they win the turnover battle, they win games. And that, I still think to this day that's going to be Josh's biggest flaw. But like Signetti says, he's never had a defense as good as he'll probably have as Indiana. He's never had a run game as good as Indiana is likely to have either. So I think there was some truth in the statement, but I'd also think it was some sour grapes as well.
If he had stayed, would he have had the best line ever? Noah McKinney, Witten Van Hoy's returning. They are being talked up. And back to your earlier point about being physical, can they just load up and run behind those guys?
I actually think so, ironically. I really like some of the additions they made. Noah McKinney was obviously a big one. They got Cade Bennett back for the extra year eligibility. Some of those, Ben Taylor Whitfield as well. Ryan Hughes is coming off an injury. Another guy that got out of the portal, he was all conference at FIU, was a Jaheim Buchanan. So they're deep, and you're seeing a lot of those highly regarded recruits. Sonny landed, in like the 23 class, 24 class. Those old linemen, Witten Van Hoy, Killian Registi, I think I said his name right, and Wesley Harvey, some other guys, they're finally ready to play now, and TCU is starting to look a little bit different on the offensive line. You're starting to see a little bit more 6'5", 6'6", even 6'7". So the body types are changing. So I do think Josh would have probably had his best O-line if he stayed here.
Don't know a lot about Jaden Craig other than a 3-year starter at Harvard, but the thing that gives me confidence is I believe Sonny could take whomever, basically, and mold him into a pretty good quarterback. I think we followed him at Cal, and we know what he was about, and he's a real good offensive mind, obviously. So from that perspective, what do you expect from Craig? And tell us about him, what he does well.
I kind of follow that same thinking as you. I think even whether it be Max Duggan, Josh Hoover, Chandler Morris can really stay healthy. The success he had at SMU, even going back to Louisiana Tech, I think Sonny, if he's known as a quarterback whisperer, I think he's earned that reputation just based off the work he's done, really all over the place. So I expect Craig will probably set some career-high numbers. I think one thing that he'll be able to showcase a little bit more than he wasn't able to at Harvard because of depth issues is just his mobility. I don't think his rushing stats are probably just going to jump off the page, but he's more mobile than maybe you might expect. He's a little bit bigger than Josh. I think he has similar arm talent, man. I really do. So I think the mobility, the fact he's going to be in the offense, that Samus really kind of thrives on making the game really, really easy for his quarterbacks. Fagnano at UConn was one of the most efficient passers in college football last year, and that's what they want to do this year. They don't necessarily need or want Craig to have to carry the offense, but I do think this scheme and this ability to kind of get him in space to use his legs will bring out the best of him. He has some NFL draft buzz, so he has NFL upside. I do believe that, and I definitely saw it to watch him go through the spring.
Quarterback depth can always be an issue, and I was looking at some of the guys who played in the version of a spring game. And Jack Dalton, wait a minute. No, we're so old that Andy Dalton's kid is playing college football? That's a shocker. How good is he?
Dawson, I don't think Andy's his dad, but for what I remember. But he was running with the threes, but when he got on the field, he's a 3-star recruit out of the Woodlands near Houston. He flashed some talent, man. He was a guy that really impressed Kendall Browse and Sonny when Browse was here. So I definitely think he closed the spring pretty strong. The second quarterback is going to be Adam Schobel, who's really raw but really talented, 6'4", maybe 6'5", can move, has really good arm talent. He just needs more polish. He played at like 4A or 3A here in Texas, so he's just kind of refining his skills. So TCU has good quarterback depth. Obviously, they hope it won't be tested, but it won't be like some of those other years where if Josh went down, they will be having to turn to, almost a walk-on or a true freshman. So I think TCU's in a good spot when it comes to his quarterback depth.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So,
What's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Receiver-wise, McAllister was a really, really good player, right? I think we all understand that. And when he was available, he was very nice. Now they don't have somebody, I think, that has the original or the stature of name value along those lines. But I'm assured that if it's a Sonny Dykes offense, they've got guys waiting in the wings, and whether it's a Jeremy Scott or a Terry Shelton, maybe it's those guys. Who knows? Could you tell us about what they have as far as receiver goes?
Well, the biggest addition, I guess the return they got was Jordan Dwyer coming back. They picked him up last year from Idaho in the transfer portal. He's the second leading receiver with close to almost 800 yards. So if there's going to be a guy, it's going to be Jordan. Having him back, I just think is huge for just not only his experience. He's a proven guy. Did it at the FCS level, and then he did it at the Power 4 level. So he'll be wide receiver one. I think they're counting on the outside receiver, that second outside spot, either Terry Shelton or Dozie Ezukanma. I think I pronounced it right.
Yeah.
They're betting on one of those two guys to kind of take a leap. And based on the spring, I think they're both capable. I would probably maybe lean more towards Shelton kind of having that starting role. But they might use those two guys to kind of replicate what Eric McAllister did. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if, say, Terry Shelton has like 500 yards and Dozie has 300 or 400. Because I think he's going to take a committee approach to replace Eric. And then finally, they got Ed Small coming back. Ed Small, before his injury, I thought was one of the top freshman slot receivers last year. And so he's another guy they can depend on. They really like their tight end room. So I think it will be a committee approach. I don't know if they'll have the Big 12's leading receiver next year, but there's plenty of talent. They just need some of those younger guys to kind of step up now.
Back to your point about being bigger and more physical, we have seen Utah and BYU both have success with tight ends. But tight ends, that's an all-purpose label. Like, some guys are more run blockers, some guys are receivers and are really glorified slot guys. And some guys really, truly are combo guys. What do they have in the tight ends group for TCU?
Well, all the tight ends now, I think, Gordon Samuels demands that they have to be willing to kind of put their hand in the dirt, and they have to be good inline blockers. Obviously, he wants a receiving threat, a receiver that can, a tight end that can stretch the field. But it's paramount receiver, tight end, that you have to be a plus in the blocking game. So I think all of the tight ends are having to get a little bit more physical. Kamorion Pimpton is probably the lead guy. Right now, he's 6'6", 6'7". I view him as, I think his strengths are going to be in the red zone target, just getting up, going up for those jump balls, but he has a lot of talent, man. They were really banged up, honestly. Another guy I really like is Mason Peterson. He's another guy. I think he might be him and Lafayette Kawhi. I think I said his name right. I think they're more of those, I guess, more modern tight ends. That can really stretch the field. They're faster despite having, so much, despite their physicality and things like that. So they have a versatile tight end room. They're just hoping those guys can get healthy and will be able to go in fall camp.
Reading up on them defensively, they said they have some gaps to fill in the secondary at linebacker. And going with linebacker, I know Elam's Caleb was really good as far as linebacker, and he was just a tackle machine. So how is that position going to be?
It's a big question mark. They do feel good about the development of Max Carroll. He's a Memphis guy just like me. So Max will step into Caleb Elam's role as kind of like the Mike Backer. Another super talented former 4-star recruit, was an athlete in high school, played every position. So he has like a receiver safety mindset at linebacker, which I think is going to allow him to be really thrive against both the pass and the run. So if there's a breakout guy on that TCU defense, I would definitely say it's him. Outside of him, though, that room's going to be a big question mark. They're dependent on – it'll either be one of the handful of redshirt freshmen they have that, weren't ready to play last year, having to step up. They also brought in Mike Short from North Carolina, but he was a reserve at North Carolina. And they also have Michael Thiessen back, who was a transfer from Missouri State. So – I would argue that second linebacker spot by Max Carroll, that's probably the biggest question mark on the defense for TCU.
TCU's defense a year ago, 14th in the conference, giving up 245 yards a game through the air. That is not good enough. Have they leaned heavily into the transfer portal to fix that? How is that going to work out?
Well, absolutely. They loaded up at the cornerback position. It was really strange because their safeties were so good last year, but their cornerbacks was kind of like the opposite story. So they do bring back Jamel Johnson, who I think will be preseason All-Big 12, maybe preseason All-American. Tied for the team lead in interceptions last year. I think he's an NFL guy just like Bud Clark was. And another guy, not a transfer, but a true sophomore, Gil Jackson at cornerback. He might have been the top performer in the spring. He looks like a dude. He looks like the type of corner you'll see in the SEC. 6'3", great frame, has that type of confident, bordering on cocky mindset that you want from your defensive back. I think he's another guy that could be a breakout. And they brought in two cornerbacks, Kalen Carroll from Central Michigan and Teion Parks from Colorado. Also bring back Vernon Glover as well. So they would like to think they'll be better on that side of the ball. They struggled, I think, in jump ball situations last year, and they struggled for some reason in third and long. They had one of the better defenses in terms of stop rate on first and second down. So they were really good at forcing those 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, but they also really struggled to get out the field as well. So it was a really strange year watching the secondary last year, considering how good their safeties were.
I know they got a recruit coming in, quarterback, who's they're really high on, and the recruiting you spoke about, that they've been doing it. And I think that is reflective, and you can answer this much better than I could, in the reason why they gave Sonny an extension in April. Is that accurate?
I think so. I think Sonny, the recruiting as well, I think the fact he was able to kind of stabilize the ship, if you will, the last 2 years, I think that was big. If you're Mike Buddy, you're coming in. For the most part, TCU's athletic department is in a really strong place. And, at AD, you're defined by the hires and decisions you make. So I don't think Buddy wanted to really come in and make a major decision if he didn't have to. And the way Sonny, I think, closed the year last year and in 2024 was the right sign that, as he said after that bowl win over USC, TCU is a good football program. Now they're trying to figure out how to take that last step. It starts with recruiting. You're seeing that, I think, finally in the trenches more than anything, both on the defensive line and offensive line. The body types are changing. The physicality is changing. Now they just have to go and execute on the field and figure out, can they take that next step, especially with Sorsby. In my mind, Sorsby shouldn't be playing this year for Texas Tech, but that's another story.
Yeah. I think you'll be right.
Stephen, we appreciate the time and the info. Thanks for joining once again. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Stephen Johnson, TCU beat writer for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Sonny Dykes, 4 years there, 36-17. And you like to throw out the bowl games and the non-conference and tell me how you stack up in the conference. And he is right now 23-13 in his 4 years. So
I'm a Sonny fan. He's always very media accessible. Every time we talked to him, it was easy to talk to the guy.
Yep.
And he came on our show. We'd call him up. He'd be willing to come on. And then, of course, at media days, and we'll see him here. Now it's next month since we are into June already. Made my reservations the other day for Big 12 media days, the 8th and 9th of July, whatever that Tuesday, Wednesday is. And so we'll have all the coverage as we usually do. But yeah, he's good, and he got that one big season. There's no question about it. I think they have the ability to not really be a surprise team, but be in the thick of things. I think they're in that group. I've got 3 teams in the top, and then I've got about 5 or 6 teams in that middle, and they're in there.
The middle.
And could be at the move up. I got 5 or 6 teams in that middle, maybe only 5, that could find their way to play in the title game. I've got the 2 locals and Texas Tech. And then I got a bunch of others that have the chance to be really good. And I think he could be one of those, or they could be one of those.
They didn't beat BYU last year. They couldn't beat ASU. Iowa State got them, but Iowa State's in a different place. You can move them down in the order with the coaching change and the roster getting gutted. They didn't have to play Tech last year. That has been set up for ESPN Thanksgiving night. They're expecting something. They've already put that thing in on Thanksgiving night.
Thanksgiving night game?
TCU at Texas Tech, Thursday, November 26th, ESPN, 6 o'clock. They're not putting two teams there because they think they're going to be 4-7. That's not
sweet.
That's not what they're expecting there.
Yeah, that'll be a fun game.
Tech plays Thursday, Utah plays Friday, and then BYU's got a Saturday game. Spread it out over the holiday weekend.
Yeah, great. That's just what a great time. I feel sorry for you if you're not a football fan.
On Thanksgiving weekend?
Yes.
It's such a glorious.
I mean, it's turkey football.
It was always 4 days of football, and now it's going to be 5. Hard to believe there was a time when there were only 2 Thanksgiving games, and now there's 3. And now they're adding in the Wednesday night NFL game.
What's the NFL game that night? Do you know?
I should know it's out. I'd have to search, so I don't know off the top of my head. I mean,
I think the Lions and Cowboys are playing.
Wow, what breaking news there.
Not each other.
Green Bay Packers at the LA Rams.
Oh,
that's a good game that just got better with that trade yesterday.
I should check that. I screwed up. That's the Thanksgiving Eve game, excuse me.
That's good.
Chiefs, is it?
It's Chiefs at Bills.
Chiefs Bills.
Oh, that's outstanding, too.
Allen versus Mahomes.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, they load them up.
I'm going to get loaded up on turkey and football.
Packers, Rams, Wednesday.
That's awesome.
Chiefs, Bills, Thursday after the traditional games.
Usually on the Wednesday before, traditionally, I had gone disco dancing because I get my wife a cocktail dress that I give her before Christmas. But I may have to stay home that night.
Trying to get all the hits in, huh?
Wrap them all up in one and throw it at the same time.
Put a bow on it, as Yock likes to say.
And that's what I do now.
Not yet.
I do put a bow on it because I go through Amazon now to get the cocktail dress because Kmart is closed.
Amazon has Denver at Pittsburgh on Friday, just to tie that all together.
Denver at Pittsburgh. Yeah, well, we'll be getting down to the end of Aaron Rodgers at that point.
That'll be tough to, yes, but we're gonna have the Ute game that day too. So of local college football.
They play West Virginia.
Yes,
7 o'clock.
Oh, is it 7?
Tonight,
then we got time. The NFL game's at 1. So,
so the Utes play at home
football.
7 o'clock Friday after Thanksgiving.
Correct. And then BYU.
That could be chilly.
Yeah, it could be.
That's three Thanksgiving Fridays in a row for them.
I think that's
kind of. At least they're home this time.
I don't follow that's just Saturday part 1. That Friday after.
I was going to say that weekend.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whether they play Friday or doesn't really matter. And everybody considers that holiday weekend. That's the biggest holiday weekend we have every year. Because there's a bunch of holidays that aren't always on a weekend. It just depends on how the calendar falls. But obviously with Thanksgiving, it's always Thursday. And you just lock it down.
Yeah. The NFL has set up a bunch of marquee games for you that week. While you were talking, I called. Jeez, man, these guys, they don't miss a beat. Fox gets a doubleheader. They get Seattle and San Francisco. They
shouldn't miss a beat because it's entertainment.
New England and L.A., the Chargers, Sunday night in prime time.
Yeah, the only thing is that one of the stations plays The Godfather nonstop, so I'll have to just get out of that for a little bit.
But you can get right back into it. I mean, you literally pick it up with the inner dialogue. You're kind of like, you're right there.
I know, but I feel like, like a traitor to the faith of not watching it completely.
Well, you can bail out when they get to Godfather 3. You don't really like that one. It's just the first two.
I don't even know they show that one.
I think they do.
Oh.
But as you see, you're off to the football game then. Right. You can't be bothered with that.
No.
It's about the 2, and, when De Niro's running along the rooftop, breaking up the gun, throwing it down different chimneys, you're there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I've done that myself.
Nice one. Everything you missed in this show, when we come back, stay with us.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.
Mom, can you
tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.